Helmut, Ernst, family name Ernst, first name Helmut.
Yes. Have you been associated with Auroville long?
Yes, I'm associated since the beginning.
Since the beginning?
In the sense that I knew about the upcoming of Auroville since 1960, when I read Mother India in the bulletin of the ashram. And so I saw it coming up. And in 75, after 2 years, when Mother had passed, I decided now I must come and see by myself. So I came with my wife on Christmas 1975 was the first time to the ashram. And from there we made little walks with a bicycle to Auroville. No, we regularly visit Auroville. It was a 2 years cycle, and because of Corona, it was now interrupted for 4 years.
What did you think?
Well, it confirmed my analysis that the present thinking does not lead to anything. So there must be a completely new direction, and I found this direction actually very early in the when Auroville was founded. That there was much talk about an international university in Auroville. Many pages full of such quotes, and at that time the Auroville was invited by the United Nations to prepare or to contribute a project report on an international university in Auroville.
It is in the 60s, right?
This was 69. So 1 year after the foundation of
One of
Auroville.
the resolutions, right?
And it was on the desk of Navajada. He forgot about it, but then suddenly he realized that something should be done. And he asked Kailas at the time, who was the communication officer for UNESCO, to write a report. This report was then finally sent, and with an accompanying letter, which was approved by the mother, and this is part of a booklet now published by, I think it was some Aurovillians collected this information. The early years with UNESCO at Mother's years, when Mother was still in her body. And there this letter is replicated. Kailas wrote to the UNESCO as accompanying letter to this project report. And in this letter is clearly that the cultural pavilions would be national campuses where students live, where tutors and professors live, and have connections with their home universities. So the whole picture I am promoting now again was already put down in a few words, in a few sentences only. It was not worked out in this letter. But it seemed later on this university idea got neglected or forgotten about, and without any living beings in the international zone, with students, with people interacting with each other, I think it will forever be a dead thing. No, it confirms what I'm aware of since long, that something like a expo is a wrong idea. It attracts just tourism, and Auroville is a village up to now. So why should a village have an expo of the world? No, a university would be a means of growth of Auroville, because then you would attract students who would pay, of course, for their study here in this wonderful atmosphere. Of course, well, this Oxford University is evolving things since centuries and adapted to the time. I mean, it's one of the top universities. It's, in this sense, it's lifelong learning. It's always going. Science is never standing, is something fixed. It's going on all the time. And Auroville would be a kind of experiential a place where you make experiences on the ground. Let's say forestry, agriculture, water management, biodiversity, climate change, energy. There's so many topics which are most relevant to humanity now, which would be also part of this research and teaching at this university in Auroville. But this university would be take care or would collect the most recent research results from all over the world, because it has connections through these national campuses or national colleges to the home universities and research institutions. So it would be really on top of everything. Well, I mean, we would invite the national governments to provide their college here. It would be their responsibility. And in this sense, the wish of the mother to interact with the governments would be fulfilled. And the cultural aspect is easily done. I mean, for instance, in the United Kingdom, you have different nations. And this English college would have a virtual media library where each of these nations could bring in their culture, and they could, one would be in Scotland evening, or one would explain the Welsh literature, or whatever. So everything would be available from these different nations in the United Kingdom, in this campus provided, or in this college provided by the English government. Yes, of course. The students, there would be, let's say in this English college, there would be English students. But in the same college would be students from all over the world. And they would interact with these English people, and in this way get contact with the English culture. And these students would be selected on the basis that they are able to be kind of messenger of their culture. And they would make events in Auroville and films and theater, whatever. I mean, this aspect would be taken care of. Yes, of course. Yes. I was also thinking of another Mahe Devi, but I don't remember now the name. Please give me an indication.
Maheshwari.
No, yes, this one.
Mahasaraswati.
Mahasaraswati, yes. Yeah. Mahasaraswati is the deity for the arts and for perfection, beauty. Yeah. So this could be part of this international zone as well. Why not? Well, I'm not sure whether we can really make a very strict connection between one personality of the Divine Mother and the international zone. It would be a bit by chance. I mean, it's a combination. I mean, it's really a place of diversity, representing the diversity of the world in their cultures. But science is actually something which is not diverse, but it's unifying. There's only one physics, one chemistry. In this way, one is working on a common ground, but by presenting the cultures of the different nations, one becomes aware of the richness of humankind, of the expression, the wonderful ways people may dance or make poetry or whatever. Since it's the aim of Auroville to create human unity, to make it, to experience human unity. All propaganda, all falsehoods have to be dismantled or taken away. So even if the governments have a role to play, Auroville should be able to keep out any political agendas out of this setup here. Otherwise, it becomes hollow and not creating unity. Unity can be built only upon sincerity, on truth, and